Okay, so last week you guys created a building and HVAC table, right? And I also confirmed that these are all created under your database using describe formatted like a table name, that is HVAC and building. And then, as a part two, now you need to create the other two tables by joining existing table. Okay, so I'm gonna go over how to join and what kind of join exist in the lecture note. But in the lab, you will learn what join is and how it works based on HVAC syntax. So this is another good chance for you to learn the join. The one thing that you have to remember is, there is a actual temperature and the target temperature column in your HVAC table, if you recall, right? So there's a column named target temperature and actual temperature for your HVAC system. So as I said, to evaluate if your HVAC system is working well or not, you can compare the difference between actual temperature and target temperature, right? So if, for example, your air conditioner, you set the target temperature as 60, but if your actual temperature becomes 70, then, it is 10 degrees much higher than your target temperature, right? So in that case, you could define another column that can say, this is hot. Your HVAC system is much hotter. And you could also define, if you compare, when your target temperature is 60, but if your actual temperature becomes 50, then it is much colder, right? So then the new column value can become cold. But the actual and target temperature is within 5 degree range, then you can set the value can be normal. Yeah. So based on that information, let's create another table named HVAC temperatures. Yeah. So you could create third temperature, actually first temperature for today. So as usual, to start it with a clean environment, you need to drop the table if it exists. The table name is HVAC temperature. Oh, by the way, again, you have to open 3 Git-bash terminal, and 2 of them should be SSH, remotely connected to Linux server, right? And one of them is for shell commands, including HDFS shell commands. Second one is for beeline. So any HVAC code, you have to enter into beeline terminal. And the third one is your local terminal. It means that, you have your own computer, and your computer is a file system, right? So third terminal is going to be used to normally run scopy command to copy data from a Linux server, from hardware system to your own personal computer to visualize using Power BI. Okay. And besides, you need to open Notepad++ or the text edit to copy entire shell commands and HVAC code to edit in the editor. And also you need to save those commands and code as a file to reuse in the future. Yeah? So again, some reason if you don't get the right result and if you need to start it over, you can use the code in the editor, and then you can finish your work in maybe 5 to 10 minutes. If you copy shell commands and HVAC code again from a PDF file, from my tutorial, then it may take 40 minutes, right? So that's why I strongly recommend you to use editor like a Notepad++, or if you are a Mac user, you need to use TextEdit or Sublime. Okay. Oh, by the way, when you start the B line, what is the first command, first HiveCare code that you need to run? Whenever you open B line, what is the first HiveCare code? No, after SSH, you run B line, right? So when you are in B line, what is the first? Say? It's B. No, that is shell commands, not the B line. So assuming that you type in B line and hit enter key, then you are in B line environment, right? To run HiveCare code. So what is the first HiveCare code that you need to run?
Create databases.
Oh, say again?
Create database if not exist our username.
Great, but you already created it, right? Then what is the the first HiveCare code? You already created your database last week, right?
Show tables?
No, show is optional. What else? No, that is for shell, not for beeline.
Create database?
Say again?
Create database?
No, you already did it last week, so you don't need to recreate. No, I mean, that's optional. You can see it or not. Suppose that you type in show table, then what?
Use your table?
No.
Yeah.
Use what?
Use database?
My table or whatever.
No, that should be clear.
Use database.
Exactly, use a database. You see
Yeah.
what I mean? You have to use your database that you created. After then, you can show table because the table that you want to see is the table in your database, not someone else's, not from default database.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I said. I said my name. But,
Yeah, but
before, but okay,
the exact definition is
I'll
use your database.
Or Azorio.
Yeah, that's your name,
Yeah.
but that is your database, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, very close. That's good. Okay. But again, don't forget that if not, you run Beeline and then you use other people's database, or you are using default database. That's not correct. Then you have to start it over after 2 hours work.
But
That's too
even
bad.
if we log in, we can use other people's database if we say like use another user.
Yeah, you can use it. Yeah, because in real world, there is the authorization to use only your own database, but I don't have time to
This
do
is
it.
open to everyone.
Yeah, it is open to everyone here. Yeah, I should spend a lot of time to do it, so I don't want to do it. That's why you have to use your own database. Very, very important. You shouldn't forget, right? If you forget it, then after two hours work, you need to start your over. That made you crazy. Yeah? So, okay, so once you use your database, now you can start I mean, you can start from clean environment. So that's why you need to drop the table to make sure you don't have any table named this. And then you create your table, name the HVAC temperatures, and then you have to specify the separator of the data value. So your data value should be separated by comma. After that, you store the data under the sensor parts directory over your HDFS, especially its subdirectory HVAC temperatures. So that's same as your table name. That's the good habit to put directory name as your table name. So this directory actually keep the data that is related to HVAC temperatures. Okay? And then, you create table, but you don't have data. And your data is actually from existing table. Yeah? So when you create table, you get the data from HVAC table. And between them, you put alias, like AS. So when you create table, you alias it with that actually means you query the data from HVAC table, and the result of data should be stored into HVAC temperature table. Physically, that data file is created under HVAC temperature directory. Anyone have any question at this moment? Is it clear what this syntax is meaning? And if you look at the select statement here, definitely you try to read, you put star. What's the meaning of a star here?
All of it,
What do you mean? More clearly.
like selecting all of like the values in the table.
More clearly.
Getting data call for
Exactly. That's the much
All the columns.
like a term. Yeah. So you read all data from all the columns. Yeah. So there is star. And comma, you have an additional column. That is by using like a mathematical operation, like a difference between target temperature column and actual temperature column. Yeah? So result of this value should be stored into new column named the temperature difference. So that's why you put alias. So this value should be stored into new column named the temperature difference. So this is an additional column. And then now you have a more complicated, like the statement here. And each column is another additional column is named the temperature range. Okay? So there is an alias temperature range based on the result of this conditional statement, conditional and logical the clause. Okay? So if you look at it, even though you don't know well about the conditional statement of HiveQL, you can guess because you already took coding class before. Like if target temperature minus actual temperature is greater than 5, then the value is string cold. Yeah. So it means that the value of a temperature range become cold. And so this is like if this is correct, you got this. If it's not correct, that is this one. If it's not correct, then you have another if condition that says if the difference over target temperature and actual temperature is less than minus 5, it is hot. As I said. Otherwise, it is normal. Okay? So value of temperature range is either cold, hot, normal, based on the difference between the column target temperature and actual temperature. So does it make sense for this additional column? Yeah, cool. Now you have a third additional column named extreme temperature. Same concept, but this time, if the temperature difference is greater than 5, the result is the 1. If that is less than minus 5, still result is 1 because we are talking about extreme temperature. So no matter what it is, cold or hot, that's what we expected. That's why it is called extreme temperature. And then otherwise, extreme temperature value becomes 0. One thing here is, I made a mistake, but if this is a string with a single quote, this one should be string as well. But I put like a integer value. But in detail, it's not correct. It should be single quoted 0 because they should be all the same data type. Yeah? But anyhow, including entire column from HVAC table, you add 3 more columns based on like a numeric, like a logical, and mathematical operation. Yeah. Anyone have any question at this moment? So
I do.
again, yeah, go ahead.
So you mentioned earlier that after you run VLine, you need to select your database, but how do you do that? Like what-
Carla, remember after you create your database last week, right? You call use your database name, semicolon.
Okay,
Remember that, right?
vaguely.
Cool. Yeah, so, very, very important not to forget that, because since you have your own database, you have to use it whenever you get in Beeline. If not, you cannot complete today's level. Any other question at this moment? Cool. So again, the result of this select statement, the query result of this select statement is like a bunch of records, right? And that record should be inserted into this table, like a HVAC temperature table. And physical location of that data is actually under your sensor files directory, and its subdirectory HVAC temperature. Now, let me ask you a question. How many statements here? How many statements you can see from? Exactly 3. So you can tell from 2 semicolon, right? So you have 2 statements. Besides, you have a comment statement. So you have 3 statements. Yeah? So if you successfully complete this work, oh, by the way, definitely you have to change it. I mean, you have to replace my name with your name, right? And then you can see table using show tables. So at this moment, you should have 3 tables, right? After then, actually you need to run describe formatted HVAC temperature. So I didn't put formatted, but you need to call describe formatted HVAC temperature to see the path include your account name. It's very important. If you use other people's database, you see other people's name. Yeah, you need to insert formatted within this. That will show you more detailed information. If you just run describe HVAC temperatures, it is just simple, like a summary of the table information. But as you did in the part 1, you need to insert describe formatted. Okay, then you will see entire column, including additional 3 column: temperature difference, range, and extreme temperature. Okay. Any question? Now let's look at the fourth table named HVAC building. So as the name said, this is to join HVAC table and building table that you created last week. Okay? So to start it from clean environment, you just drop it first to make sure. And then you have this is single line actually. It looks like 2 line, but this is single line. If you want to use 2 line for your comment, you have to put dash dash into the second line. So dash dash is only for 1 line, not for multiple lines. Okay. And here, you create table HVAC building, and you have like a separator comma again. So value of this table should be separated by comma, and then its location in HDFS should be sensor files subdirectory named the HVAC building. So again, table name and directory name should be same as a good habit for coding. Yeah? That will make things more clear. If you use different name, then later on you could be confused what this directory is for. And then you aliased it. It means that the result of this select statement should be should create new data, and that new data should be stored in HVAC building directory to be used by HVAC building table. Does it make sense? And if you look at this select statement, in the from, you have a building and HVAC temperatures. HVAC temperature you just created here. So for building table, you put its alias B, that actually refer to building table. And for HVAC temperature, you alias it as a H, that refer to HVAC temperature table. So you join building table and HVAC temperatures table together using its building ID column. So to refer to building ID column from building table, you use dot notation with its alias B. So B dot building ID is the building ID column from building table. And H is HVAC temperature table, right? H dot building ID means a building ID column from HVAC temperatures table. So if the value is the same on building ID column, then you join these two tables. Okay? So again, if you look at go back to building. Okay? So if you go to building table, that has a building ID column. That is actually queried by HVAC temperature table, right? So HVAC temperature table definitely has a building ID column using star. Okay? And then HVAC table also has building ID column, if you recall. So HVAC table has a building ID column, right? So using a building ID column, you can join HVAC table and HVAC temperature. Oh, sorry. You can join building table and HVAC temperature table. Okay? So it means that all columns from these two tables should become the column for new table in the HVAC building using the same common column. Okay? So this is a simple join the clause like a condition, and then the two select the column that you want to insert into this table should be entire column from the HVAC temperature table. So you have a H dot star, yeah? Because you have the columns from two tables, so you have to specify which column you're talking about. Is it from table H or table B? Yeah? So that's why you have a H dot notation to call entire column from H table, that is HVAC temperatures. And for from building, you just want to select country, HVAC product, building age, and building manager. So those four columns are what you want to query from building table B. Okay? That's why you only specify four columns from building table. So entire column from HVAC temperatures table and four columns from building table. That is the entire columns for HVAC building table. Does it make sense for you guys? Any question? Okay. So again, to join, you could use two tables, and then to join them, you should have a common column from these two tables. Yeah, common ID from like no, I mean like a common column, the equivalent column. Okay? Normally, it should have the same name, but sometimes it has different column name. But you can, as a human, you can tell this is this column are for the same like value. Okay. Any other question at this moment? So if you type in show tables, now you can see a new table named HVAC building. That is from building at HVAC temperatures, right? And same, you can see the information for HVAC building using describe HVAC building, but you may type in describe formatted HVAC building to see if the path present your account name. And then you can select certain column from HVAC building to see the data value. And again, you have to limit it. Why we limit the query result? Why we have to limit them?
Maybe we're targeting only 10 records.
Because it's gonna fetch too many records, it's gonna cause the database to crash.
Oh,
It'll be too long.
yeah, just simply, there are too many data.
Yeah.
Okay, so like we are talking about large scale data, right? So if you just call select without limit, then it may take 2 or 3 hours, sometimes 24 hours to read it, to show entire records, because you are talking about 1 terabyte or 1 petabyte data. So you cannot work for 24 hours because of that. Okay? So to avoid it, you just want to limit it, then you can immediately see how well your table is working. And then to exit beeline environment, you can type in exclamation exit, or you can type in Control and D keys together. You have to press Control key and D key together, and you can get out of the beeline environment. And you created the HVAC building, so HVAC building should have a data file inside. And data file name is the file name is created by the Hadoop system, like a beeline system automatically. So name is like 0000, 0001, 002, etc. Since we use only one reducer in Oracle Big Data Server, so you can see only one file named 000. That is the value for HVAC building table. And then the data size is about 498 kilobyte. And then this data is at the Hadoop file system, right? So this is very important concept. Your data is, we are using HiveQL. It means that your data that you read or write should be in Hadoop file system always. Okay. So you have to get it. You have to get the data from Hadoop file system to your Linux file system. So, again, after this is the one terminal for beeline. You have to look at another terminal for shell commands. So now you need to move on another terminal. And you have to run, you have to check, you have to run Hadoop ls command. What's the meaning of ls here? Exactly, list file or folders, right? So you specify the location of HVAC building table, like HVAC building directory. Then you can see there is a file name the 0000. And then, you know, you want to download it to your the Linux system. So you have to call get command. So now your Linux, the reason you run ls-al is to see what kind of file I have at my Linux file system. Okay? So this is ls command for all file and folders in Linux. And this is for other file system, right? And this is for Linux file system, right? So this one, you know, you should tell it. It's very important, like a shell commands for Linux and for HDFS. Okay? So now you download the file from the other file system to your Linux file system, but you need to use it for your personal computer because the Linux server, there is no graphical user interface. But your personal computer, you know, you have many good applications for web browser or for Excel, etc., right? So now you need to open the third terminal to download to scopy. It means that you need to download the file from your Linux server to your personal computer. So this is, I mean, you need to use third terminal for your own personal computer. So you run scopy, and you have to type in your username and IP address of Linux server, and then location of your file. That is on the home directory, your account name, and you can see your file that you downloaded here. So your file in Linux server is at your home directory, and your home directory is /home and your account name. And then when you download it, this file should have renamed it. So your file name that you want to rename is just simply add .csv. Yeah, so this file is downloaded and stored into 000.csv file. So if it is successful, you can see 100% successfully downloaded from Linux server to your personal computer. Anyone have any question for this? You know, this is what you did in the first lab. Okay, so you know, it's very simple concept, but if you don't clearly understand the file system and what is the Linux server and what is your personal computer, then you know you may some people confuse and make a lot of mistake here. So I hope you clearly understand what you are doing and easily download the file from Linux server to your personal computer using scopy. Okay. So again, any question from Zoom and from you guys? No question? Okay, so now once you download this 00.csv file, oh, by the way, this is not comma, this is dot. Your 00.csv file should be visualized using Power BI. So open your web browser and visit app.powerbi.com and sign up using your school email, because you know, as far as I know, if you use school email, then you can use it permanently as a student. If you graduate, then you cannot use it anymore. But once you are in school, you can use Power BI permanently using your school email. So get there, and in my workspace of your Power BI, you need to get data, or you need to create new data to upload that 00.csv file into Power BI web browser. I mean, into the remote server of Power BI as a CSV file. You need to locate, I mean, you should know where your file is downloaded into your personal computer. if you are asking me where is my file, then that's gonna let me down because as I said, you should know your file structure. If you don't know where your file is gonna be downloading, then you have to practice file system a lot by yourself. And then once you do it, you create the data set automatically, and then you start from table to display. All the data here is in the table format, so you can even draw table format in Power BI like this. After then, you can create another view as a map chart that shows geomap with some option like a cold, we have a cold hot normal value. So you can draw pie chart based on the location, like a country column to locate the number of the HVAC system that was sold. I mean, that was used in each country. So you can size. I mean, depends on how many HVAC system exist in that country. You have a different size of a pie chart. Yeah, so definitely the Northern Europe has the biggest number of HVAC systems sold. I mean, used. So it has a much bigger pie chart. And depends on what option you use. Like you can choose only cold, the HVAC system that is much colder than you expected, or hotter or normal. If you select them all, you can see 3 categories from the pie chart. So that is just for you to play around. And if you choose only 2, like hot and normal, you can see only 2 categories. But actually, I want to see your geomap with the pie chart that has different size with the 3 different categories. That's what I want to see. Yeah. So anyhow, you need to save it. So this is what I want to see after you finish your work. Besides, you can, as a third page of your Power BI, you can create the bar chart that has a sorted by extreme temperature field number. That should be sorted from the highest number to lowest number. And save it as well. So at the end, you need to show me this chart, this map chart, and this bar chart. Then I can give you credit. Okay? So some of you, maybe you can easily finish this, but maybe other people, you may take time because you may make some mistakes somewhere. But anyhow, if you get this result, that'll be fun. And this is very easy but simple data analysis that you could actually finish as a big data analysis method. Okay. Anyone have any question at this moment?
Want to see the number 15 and 15?
Yeah, I want to see this and this map chart and bar chart. Again, the map chart, it should have a different size of pie chart. Also, it should have a 3 category. If you have 2 category, then don't show me. You need to show me the 3 category with a different size of a pie chart. Besides, your bar chart, it should be sorted from the highest number to lowest number. That's what you need to show. Any other question? Okay, then you guys start the lab, and in the meantime, if you have any question, feel free to ask me. Any question from Zoom?
Yeah, I have a question, Professor.
Sure, Christian.
So I closed, after we finished Lab 2, Part 1, I closed my Git bash, and I try to reconnect to the server, and I can't find my my file for
Have you used your database?
Yes.
Can you show me your work?
Okay, let me share. I'm gonna reconnect again. Can I share my screen now?
Yeah. Feel free to share your screen anytime. Christian, can you show me when you are ready? Instead of showing me what you are doing
Okay.
now? Yeah, so
Sure.
show me when you are ready.
Okay.
I think mentioned how you can go back to home directory. Someone already mentioned, but
I mean,
CD? Change directory?
yeah, change directory, view. What's the command? Yes, CD, hit enter now, color. Now you see like a wave character, right?
yep.
Can you type in pwd again? Prison working directory. See, this is your home directory.
Okay, so now,
This is C
now we
drive. Users is your users and color is your home directory.
Yeah. so now we
Hit
do,
enter.
okay. Hey, all right.
No permission denied, right? Because again, in Linux file system, you are only allowed to use home directory. You cannot use other directory.
Yeah.
It's a very important concept.
All right, thank you.
Great, Carla. Thanks for sharing that.